Aloha Micah, a couple and a curtain call, a program of reviews, previews, interviews, and features of and or with the great art and artists on Maui and beyond. I'm Paul James Brown. In his final film of his storied career, Bruce Willis reunited with his Pulp Fiction mate John Travolta in the Chuck Russell film Paradise City. Mr. Willis has retired from acting due to aphasia. According to the Cleveland Clinic website, quote, aphasia is a brain disorder where a person has trouble speaking or understanding other people speaking. This happens with damage or disruptions in parts of the brain that control spoken language, unquote. Obviously, this would be a very difficult disorder for an actor. While these guys are megastars, the real stars of this film are Maui and some terrific performances by Maui actors. The great director Konstantin Stanisławski, the father of modern acting, is reputed to have said, quote, there are no small parts, only small actors. In the small part category is the amazing Patty Lee. She plays the part of a bartender in a flashback segment where John Travolta's Buckley is recalling his first encounter with Ryan Swan's Blake Jenner's late father, Ian Swan, Bruce Willis. Patty has a moment where she comes over to Buckley to inform him that Ian Swan has told her to put his drink on Mr. Buckley's tab, to which Buckley takes umbrage. You see her for a millisecond, and then you hear her talking to Buckley. Finally, we see her walking out. She was obviously directed not to walk to the bar, but to exit out of the frame. Such a nice cameo. Then there is Geronimo Son, who was so good in Tortilla Curtain. In this film, he has a confrontation with Ryan at the door of the victory party. He is the security guard. The next Maui star of this film is Branscombe Richmond, who plays a senatorial candidate who apparently is bought by Buckley. We see him at a fundraiser, and then we see him at his victory celebration on a simulated television program. Mr. Richmond looks great, and his role as a puppet for Mr. Buckley is rather clear. I'd vote for him. However, his more important role was in convincing Mr. Russell to bring the film to Maui. We learn from Maui Now, quote, Maui County Film Commissioner Tracy Bennett said, usually on a big action film like Paradise City, it takes about 3 months of prep, and they did it in 2 weeks. There were some restrictions on this one because of the short notice where they could not film exactly where they wanted to or what they wanted to, so they were constantly rewriting the script, unquote. Despite these problems, Mr. Russell personally expressed his gratitude to Mr. Richmond for convincing him to bring the film to Maui. I presume that a couple of those constraints must have been from the Maui Police Department, because this was the Maui PD office in the film. Another interesting scene is the Maui County Coroner's Office. Look at this. When the film opens up, Mr. Willis is supposed to be on Homoa Bay, where he gets a phone call from his son. This could never happen, because there is no signal over there. But the most egregious oversight is when the film opens and tells us where we are. See if you can see it. Yes, Hana is misspelled. Then they show what is supposed to be Maui, what is actually Honolulu. I presume because we do not have high-rise cityscape. But they could have used Ka'anapali. As far as locations go, the star of the film is the Marilyn Monroe House, a.k.a. the King Kamehameha Golf Club, the only Frank Lloyd Wright designed building in the state of Hawaii, and it's ours. This is the residence of Buckley, called the Golden Throne, and the location of Senator Kane's victory watch party. Interestingly, they have placed the building at the beach. Nice work. There is a scene where Ryan Swan goes downstairs, opens one of the amazing stained glass doors, and finds himself at a private pool party. My question is this pool in that golf club? Now I can understand the $60,000 membership fee. Although Laird Akeo was born in Honolulu, he got his first big break in productions at Haleakala Waldorf, then graduated from Waldorf High in 2019 and went on to study acting at Nebraska Wesleyan University, but dropped out after a year, moved to La La Land, and got the part of Koa in Paradise City. Koa is being pursued by bounty hunter Robbie Cole, Stephen Dorff. He has captured after a chase by Ryan Swan, who happens to be in Koa's escape path and opens the door to his SUV just as Koa appears. Not likely, but the script of this film is cliché-ridden and filled with unlikely happenings. This is Mr. Akeo's first film, and according to IMDb.com, he has 2 other films in post-production. He is most camera-friendly, macho, powerful, and he created a sympathetic character. I predict a bright future for this young man. Keep your eyes out for him. In the category of the biggest thrill for Maui actors, it is hard to choose between Ute Finch's Mrs. Lily, Marianne Perreira's Auntie Kona, and Micah Giovanni's Ern, the son of Buckley. Let's start with Ms. Finch. She has been a fixture on Maui stages since her debut in The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas at Maui on Stage in 2009. She is cast as Mrs. Lily, an upper-class haole who sympathizes with, encourages, and celebrates Buckley's development ideas for Maui. Her scene serves to give us a better idea of who Buckley is. She's charming, ingratiating, and yet one you love to hate. She represents that exclusive class here that loves Maui, but not Mauians. It is a terrific performance, and Ms. Finch is so comfortable on camera. She is fully engaged every moment and active without being actorly. In her first speaking role in a film, she has a great clip for her reel. I look for her to get other film work. Marianne Perreira is making an auspicious film debut as the matriarch of Paradise City, an isolated area of indigenous Hawaiians where the police officer Savannah Praia Lundberg is from. She has key scenes in the film, and it is hard to believe this is her first time on screen. She expresses warmth, dignity, and power in all of her scenes. Ms. Finch's scene is also where we meet the big star of the Maui group, Micah Giovanni. Maui people will remember Micah in his theatrical debut performance at age 12 as Pugsley in the terrific 2015 production of Addams Family the Musical. He was so good in that show that he and his mom left Maui to pursue a career in film and television in La La Land. He has also been the lead singer and songwriter for the LA pop-punk band Easy Street, and his next film, The Comic Shop, is in pre-production. In Paradise City, he is the only child of the villain Buckley. He gets to be charming and adorable in his opening scene, where he has a lovely moment with Ms. Finch and Mr. Travolta. Later, he is playing a game while his father is interrogating Robbie Cole, and his dad asks him to leave. And in the final scene, he has the opportunity to learn a long-lost and painful secret. It is the kind of delicious moment that all actors wish every script had. Mr. Giovanni is so restrained as you see him listening to Mr. Willis divulge the secret. You can see him take it in, hear his father deny it to him, and tell him to pay no attention to what he is hearing, and then you see his explosive reaction to the truth of what he has been told. It is an exceptional work, and the opportunity to work with these 2 film legends, even though this is clearly not the box office success these 2 are accustomed to, is something Mr. Giovanni can use to climb even higher and get even better parts in the future. Paradise City raises some long-standing issues about the culture clash between indigenous people and invaders. Mr. Travolta has most of the offensive lines in this regard. The gratuitous violence, I didn't count the number of KIA, but it was well more than 20, was something I could have done without. It was so great to see our Maui actors acquit themselves so admirably, and the Maui shots, even the one with the misspelling, show why Maui is no ka'oi. The film is available on Amazon Prime Video. You can rent it for 48 hours for less than you pay to see it at the cinema, and you can own it for a little more than the cost of one seat at the Maui Mall Megaplex. Check it out. It's much better than White Lotus. Well, that's Curtain Call for this week. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Paul James Brown. Ahui ho!